explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone,
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
and today we're going to be talking about how confidence and self-discipline go together and build our self-esteem, basically. And to have harmony between the three is what really takes us to the next level where we want to be in our life. So I'm excited to do this show because as we are, working on our goals, as you know from my other show, it's the beginning of the year. We set goals, and it's all about bringing us to the next level and having confidence in taking um, that scary step, right? That holds us back, and it's all because of getting out of your comfort zone. So, Matt, let's just talk about how you and I both attend a self confidence camp early in the morning, first thing, to really get the day started with intention of what we want to accomplish every day. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely, because intention is a spiritual process, right?
Right.
Intention is actually the reason behind your desire,
Right.
right? You desire to do something, but what is the thing that's fueling it, right? You have something that's within you that's so great and it's so powerful
Hmm.
that intention actually assists you in a way in order to based on your intention is what you're going to receive. Hence, like there are certain unseen forces at play as soon as you set your intention in motion,
Of course. Of
right?
course. And it's so important to understand that.
Because intentions are emotional in nature. Therefore, we always say, when you're thinking of doing something, if it's backed by emotion, whatever that intention may be, I hope it's a good one.
Of course.
The more that you align your intention for the greater of others, the greater the result.
Yes.
See,
No,
again, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, continue.
It's 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 all about service in one hand.
Mhm.
If you can fuel it as an intention of serving another, then you have basically served yourself. Now, over time, it starts like with the thought. And if you're holding it to a certain thought, you're gonna be basically having on how you perceive yourself and your relation to your entire world. So you have something called the self-image. Now, the self-image, if you entertain it long enough and how you view yourself,
Mhm.
that will eventually build your self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, and ultimately, you will start behaving in a different way based on your self esteem, and then you'll attain self confidence. But, as mentioned, what is the relation with self discipline? Well, it requires discipline in
Which
order to reach.
Yeah, and we know this through um, building new habits, right? Because that's what you're doing. Self discipline is building a new habit. Getting up at 5:30 in the morning. It's funny when we first start the camp, we see there's, let's say, 100 people, and then all of a sudden, as we get into the weeks, it drops, right? Because some people can't stay with building that new habit becomes a hard thing, and in order to become bigger and build something new, it
Yes.
requires discipline of new habits. And that's
Yes.
where some people, fall off and don't keep their goals, right, for the year because of the habits.
Absolutely. And you know, uh, when you see self confidence being expressed, it really is an expression. It's an expression of what's going on inside of you. So if you want to grab another analogy in order to compare, you sow a seed, right? You'd sow a seed in the ground of a particular thing you wish to grow. If you want to have an
Mhm.
apple tree, or if you want to have an orange tree or an oak
Mhm.
tree, you will not bear fruit if you're not disciplined in maintaining whatever you've sown. You need to water it. You need to, give it some sunshine, right? It's the same internal rehearsal that you have to do until you form this habit.
It's funny. What just picture came to mind was we get new plants in the house. If I don't
Yes.
water them consistently, I don't make it a
Yes.
habit giving them water,
Yes.
they will die, right?
And they will express exactly how much effort,
Right.
or how
Yeah.
much you're
Yeah.
not paying attention to it. Because
Yeah.
again, you're expressing self-confidence.
And you're becoming someone, you're growing, right? Because we know that goals are meant to grow. So when
Absolutely.
you are giving yourself self discipline, you're building that confidence and you're actually becoming the greater you, right? You're building yourself to a newer you, which really takes commitment to persevere, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something new. Um, but when there is a disconnect, right? A disconnect, maybe you have a goal that is not in alignment with what you're supposed to do. So
Yes.
the self discipline will be harder to maintain because it's not resonating with what you truly want to do. You're doing it for some other reason. Let's
Yes.
talk about that a little bit.
Well, again, when you have a goal, you have a purpose. So if you're not
If it's the
disciplined
right
in
goal, correct? If it's the
yes,
right goal.
if it's the right goal. Now,
Hmm.
now, now, some people may set a goal,
Hmm.
but if they're not emotionally driven by this goal,
Right.
you're not gonna get that much of a results because
Mhm.
you're not emotionally in attunement with the goal,
Yeah.
right? It has to be something that you truly, truly desire. It has to be that burning desire, that inner flame that just sparks every time you think of it.
You mentioned before about thoughts, right? And at the beginning of the year, we really put together a plan on how to become more disciplined, right? Whether it's you want to lose weight or whatever goal you have to achieve, you kind of set in your mind, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But these thoughts come into your head, into your mind that say, for example, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, right? And Cleona does it all the time. She goes, "Yeah, I'm sure you had a voice telling you, stay in bed, stay a little longer." All these voices in your head that are telling you to do the opposite because you're getting out of what I say, like your automatic programs. And when you step into something different, your body feels it, your mind feels it. These thoughts are coming to you that sometimes people just give up and they say it's too hard.
And here is where the difficulty arises, is because your subconscious does not recognize it as an outcome. So therefore, you have not built enough memory of recognition
Right,
of the
right.
way you wish it to be, but as if it already is. And why do I say it in such a way? It's because your subconscious does not understand the concept of time. It does not
Hmm.
understand the future, the past. It only knows now. It's your conscious mind that you keep, for example, feeling either guilty of the past or worrying of the future, or in that sense. But we need to basically get into the now, right?
Of course, of
And
course.
if you have to be disciplined in a way that when you ask yourself, okay, I want to be confident to such and such level, like so and so, but you don't have to want it in that
Hmm.
sense. Like you have to be it. You see, embodying not just the way someone behaves, we don't emulate how someone behaves, but we try to emulate how a person thinks in order to end up into that behavior.
Of course, of course. I remember, I was born in Italy. I came here from the US. I was very shy. I didn't want to speak because I only spoke Italian. So everything I spoke in English was wrong. And somebody was correcting me. Totally killed my self confidence growing up. And not until I got older into corporate America did I realize you need to be confident in order to climb the next level. Like you need to have those skills. And it is so important that if we really want to achieve great goals, we must begin to practice and have self discipline in order to build that confidence. And we want to blame the outside world on why maybe we're not achieving the goals. And the truth of the matter is, it's all within us. Self discipline, self confidence, right? It's all an inside job. And I want to stress that because it's, you mentioned before, how bad do you want that goal? You will go ahead and do whatever it takes, right? And get out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. I want to share what
Children.
we, um, if you, I can't, it doesn't seem to upload, but I want to share a formula.
Yeah.
And you're very well aware of this, Sister Giovanna. It's a formula, it's a beautiful
Yes.
formula that we have at our self discipline camp every morning. And it has certain steps that we all go through. So, the self confidence formula. First, you say to yourself, because ultimately, what you repeat to yourself about you matters. It literally matters because, as Bob Proctor always said, self discipline is you give yourself a command and you
And you
follow
follow
it.
it. Hmm.
Absolutely. And he says a person that does not have self discipline will not amount to anything. It says, first, you got to say to yourself, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent,
Yeah.
continuous action toward its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. Now, here, not only you demand of yourself persistence and continuous action, but you promise to render such action. Now, we may promise a lot of people, they may forget about it sometimes. But here you're promising yourself. You cannot forget that. Oh, do you? Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Hence, your behavior will start to change by the ideas you keep to entertain. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. So again, we're going back to we start again with the thought, with the image. And this is where self-image comes into play. You want to share anything before we continue, Sister
No,
Giovanna?
I love it. It's something that we read every morning, and we have it taped on our mirror so that whenever we go in the bathroom, we read it again. And repetition is the key to building new habits. So reading this, saying the words, feeling it is
Absolutely.
crucial to really change your image, right? So I love. Go
Yes.
ahead. I love
The
that you're
the, the
sharing
re-
it.
repetition and the desired direction helps you to create those new patterns in order to be in alignment with the thing you wish.
Of course.
Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, and just as you said, repetition,
Hmm.
any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self confidence. See, what happens is with repetition, you will start to build the habit. You will
Hmm.
start to feel connected to the goal. It's like once you align yourself in harmony, right? What do we mean by harmony when we speak? Are we harmonized with the thing we want? Is there a harmonic resonance or is there a vibrational match?
Do
If
we
you're
feel
not,
good about it?
do
Does
we
it
feel
make
good
us
about
feel
it?
good? Does it
Yes.
make us get out of bed in
Yes.
the morning, right? I mean, this is what we mean by harmonious match, right?
Absolutely. When you embrace the idea wholeheartedly, there is no separation. It must, as Bob always said, it must move into form because you're working with the cause. Now, the expression comes two ways. Before it comes to you in life as a condition, it must be first part of you as a conditioning. But again, it
I was
requires
going to say,
self-discipline.
say it again, please.
It requires self-discipline.
Hmm.
There's no other way of changing. You know, repetition is one, or an emotional impact. We know that these two things are the only ways in which it can help us to reprogram our subconscious.
Hmm.
Fourth, you, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self confidence for its attainment. Now, here's the thing. Again, we go back to what you've stated, repetition through autosuggestion. Why? Because, okay, I've written out a clear, definite chief aim, but in order for me to feel confident about what I'm doing, I have to keep on striving. Two things happens here. One, I rehearse it mentally, and second, I take action with full emotions that what I am going for, I already have. Over time, because of my continuous persistent efforts, my self confidence will develop. And there's nothing that can stop you from reaching there. You may change the plan if it doesn't work, but the goal remains the same.
And
If I were,
let me add a little bit to that is that you're replacing those negative beliefs, right? That you can't do it. So when you're
yes,
building your self confidence, you're truly killing all those beliefs that are saying you can't do this, and you're replacing it with new empowering beliefs.
let me share an example of a time in history during World War One when Napoleon Bonaparte was being surrounded by the German army. Now, he was a very confident man, regardless of what he did, but he was so confident at handling his army. So he was in a tight circle of a foreign troop, and there was no way for him to get out of it. What did he do? He focused all of his army, into a single point of direction to penetrate through the circle out. Then, when he was asked, "How did you manage to get out of the loop that you were stuck in?" And he said, "I see only the objective. The obstacle must give way."
Right?
but but he could not have that self-confidence if he did not have the self-discipline in order to harmonize his mind with what he was focusing on.
I was going to say, just focus on what he wanted. You know,
Yes.
it's no different than people swimming. You know, in going for the Olympics or anything like that, right? It's just you're focused on winning. There's
Yes.
that saying: losers never win, and winners never lose, right? It's just
Well, I think she's coming back. Well, let me mention another story about Richard Bannister. He was the first man to run a 4 minute mile. Now, back in the day, people thought that it's impossible for any person to run a 4 minute mile. But what he did, he was rehearsing it mentally, as well as doing all the rest required exercises for him to raise his self confidence through picturing it first, then feeling it, and then doing it. And it was not a very long time. He broke the 4-minute mile. And ever since, we have had many others who have gone through the 4-minute mile, and they've broken records over and over again. So let's get back to the self confidence formula. It says, fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Now, you may be holding a position, but cannot long endure if it's not built upon truth and justice. There has to be a righteous affair in everything that you do. Therefore, I will only engage in transactions which benefit all whom it affects. This also does increase your self confidence. Why? Because you know you're doing the right thing, right? And that's an empowering emotion. Unless if you're doing something that is harming others, you're not going to be very empowered. It will disempower you. Therefore, you'll become shaky. You wouldn't have the self confidence the way you should. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. And what does it say here? I will succeed. It's not that maybe I'm going to succeed. No. Strictly saying to yourself that I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. Now, what happens when you keep repeating that to yourself is that your belief is going to come in so strong that you not only expect it, you know that it's coming. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. Now, you may be having a certain amount of energy that people are going to be attracted to you in that sense. You may be having the capacity to persuade others to serve you with your pleasing personality if you do cultivate that habit. But again, why are you doing it? You're doing it in order to serve others. See, we're meant to do two things in our life. One is to make the most out of ourselves, and two, to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Isn't that beautiful? Because I know that a positive attitude toward others will bring me success. How you treat others is how your universe is going to treat you, or is how God is going to treat you. When you're serving others, you're actually serving yourself. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself. Now, here's the thing. How you view yourself is how others will view you at the same time, because everything that's outside of you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And we don't stop just there. Right at the bottom, it says, I sign my name to this formula and I will commit it to memory and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. And you sign and you write the date. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a profound exercise that I cannot emphasize enough of how important it is to practice it on a daily basis. Not just once, but at least twice. First thing in the morning, once you arise, and right before you go to bed, before you retire at night. It's because at those particular
Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced. Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you